Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to another episode of Tabletop Reviews. But today I'm having a look at Here to Slay, the first big all-in Kickstarter that I backed. All in. And I've since of course gotten expansions. That's why I have these cards on the side, because there's no room in the box for them anymore. Well, at least I need to get them sleeved like all the other cards. Otherwise there's an advantage in knowing these cards on the sleeves. You have the box itself here. You have a box here full of playmats. Hell yeah! Whole bunch of playmats. You have the bag here full of extra dice, including the ones that are in here. You have a bag here full of meeples, formed out as all the character, and you have acrylic standees of every single character in the game right here. Just flip it over. Every single character representing a what the hell is it called? Well, very beautiful of me to forget what the hell it's called. Every character, and you have a nice little cardboard dice tower, which is actually looking quite nice. It's actually quite nice. So that is all of the things for Here to Slay, and all you really need is this box with cards because I wasted them. No, let's get real quick, get to the table, talk about it, then I'll talk about all of this. Alright, so for Here to Slay there is no center board like in some other games. You just have a bunch of cards. So you have some big cards here where you have the big black cards. You shuffle those up, place them down face down, and flip over the first three. The shuffle is not overly important right now, so don't mind that. There we go. Then you have the big white cards, which are hero cards. So basically everyone chooses a hero. So let's say they choose this one and this one. That is a part of the squad. Now that's the hero of the squad. Then you have just so many cards. So this is one pile, and the second pile. And if I'm being completely honest with you, that's not all the cards that I have out. Yeah, there is a huge amount of cards for this game because it's all right on the cards. Anyways, each player starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Alright, now you're ready to start. So every player has 3 action points, and you can you can spend them as follows. 1 action point to draw a card from the top of the deck, and 1 action point to play a card. There's a few different kinds of cards to play. The one you'll probably play the most is the hero card. So in this example you have a hero who's a sorcerer, and he has a power here. So you could play him down next to your leader here, and that he's now a part of your party. Another one is an item. So this is a mask. Basically this one changes your class from, for example, this one hero, from this one sorcerer to a guardian. This is useful for a kind of a winning condition. We'll talk about that in just a second. Then there's a cursed item. These have a negative effect, and you can kind of play them to your opponent. Then you have magic cards. 1-time use, you play them, then you discard them, and they have some ability, 1-time use only. And then the final kind is modifier. So basically, you know, +1 to a dice roll or -3 to a dice roll. Yes, there is one more kind of card, which is the challenge cards. I don't play with them because I don't like to play with them, so we don't have them in the box. But basically the challenge cards is whenever, for example, if I played the hero card, you could play a challenge card. And then we would roll the dice, which are still in the box. And both of them, and then whoever rolled the highest wins. So if I rolled the highest, or if my opponent rolled the highest, I would have to discard my card. Getting rid of it, I can't play it. If I roll the highest, he just loses his challenge card and I win, and I get to play my card. So that's awesome. Anyways, another thing that costs only 1 is to roll the dice to activate a hero power. So for example, he has the ability right here, if you can see it. I need to roll 10 or higher, trade party leader cards with another player. So if I wanted to try that, I would take both dice, roll them around. This is 4 plus 3, that only gives 7. Now, of course, I actually do have this modifier as well, the one I draw, plus 6. So if I really wanted to, I could plus 6 it and swap party leaders if that's what I wanted. Again, that's maybe to a winning condition. I'll talk about that in just a second. Anyways, for 2 action points, you can attack a monster. Now, each monster have a requirement, which it says right here. Most of them will have heroes as requirements. So for example, this one needs 3 heroes. One of them needs to be, is that mage, I think it is, and another needs to be a barbarian, I think that is. And now, your party leader does count towards these, but not if it's just an H, then it needs to be hero cards. But it does count towards these 2. And then you roll the dice, if you meet the requirements, and then it's here, -6, then you need to draw 6 or under, of course. You need to sacrifice a hero card. Sacrificing is from your own area. Destroying is from an opponent's area. Anyways, or 9 and over, and you slay this monster. Now everyone has different requirements, and some of them need you to roll low to defeat them. That's unfortunately not any of these right here. But this one does use another word. Discard 2 cards. So discard is from your hand. Your hand, of course. Anyways, so a few different requirements. They then also have an ability. For example, your party leaders, they have a sort of a passive ability that happens. So this one is, each time you slay a monster card, draw 2 cards. So if I manage to get this one, I'll draw 2 cards. And this one, every time you end your turn with no cards in your hand, you may steal a hero card. So that's a pretty interesting one. Again, a passive ability that activates under certain circumstances other than this one. Now, you can spend all 3 of your action points to simply discard your hand and draw 5 new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To get a whole new hand, maybe you want that. Alright, so that's what you do throughout your turn, and let's talk about how you win. So there are 2 winning conditions. One of them can be activated individually. We prefer to play with both of them activated at the same time. One of them is getting 3 monster cards. You've slain 3 monsters and you win. The other is getting 6 different classes in your deck. That's where maybe you want to swap party leaders, or you want to use that guardian mask to get that different class in, because it is your party leader and then 5 heroes of different classes. So for example, berserker, sorcerer, guardian, fighter, berserker again. Okay, so I've got a guardian and berserker. So you can see now I have 4 different ones. I need 2 more to win. And this is where you could maybe trade party leader, because then you would get a fighter. Okay, so this is a bad situation, and even the guardian is there. And this guy has a handful of modifiers. That's a great hand to have. Okay, that's, just for the example. And then having 3. But in our group, we usually like to play with both of them active, so you need to have 6 different classes in your party and have slain 3 monsters. Then you win, just because that adds to the game. Anyways, that's the game, that's the setup, that's how you win, that's how you play. Let's get to my final thoughts on this game. So that's the setup and the gameplay. Let's talk about the gameplay first, and then of course components. Anyways, gameplays, I like it. It's unstable games or unstable unicorns that is set up here. I don't know why it says unstable unicorns on the boxes when they call themselves unstable games, but doesn't matter. They of course start over unstable unicorns, as you might have guessed, and they've made a lot of games that is the same gameplay. They tried with Exile Legends to try something new, but Here's Slay was their first success factor in something different. I think it raised 2 million or something on Kickstarter, maybe even closer to 3 on Kickstarter, becoming hugely successful, and it is a really good game. It's the first bout into something different from the Unstable Unicorns mold, and it is a success. Of course, I love the fact that you have 3 actions and you can spend them how you want, but some actions cost 2 action points, You have action points to use. and that, you know, replacing your hand and stuff, it's all up to yourself. How many cards do you want to draw? When do you want to attack? It's up to yourself. And then there is there is a level of luck. Which cards do you draw? Which is the roll of the dice. You can negate the roll of the dice with your modifiers, and of course you have the challenge cards, which are stupid, which is incredibly stupid. But that can challenge any card that's played down if you have it. But again, it's luck, you know. You try and negate it, but it's still luck. Then you can modify it, but it's still very much luck and battling in that one. But it's definitely very interesting, I think, in the gameplay, and maybe there should be more variety in, you know, you need to score below to win, or you need to score above to win. You know, some of the monsters you score 7 or higher, and something it says 4 or lower. It's maybe a little bit more on that one, but and the winning conditions either have 3 killed monsters or 6 different. I can't remember your bats and magics and stuff. I can't remember what that's called. It's weird. We always combine them in ours. You need to have the 6 and then 3 slay 3 monsters. That's a rule in our little household. Or sometimes we just go, we're just gonna play and have what, like 10 rounds, and then we see who has slayed the most. Or, you know, you need to slay 5 monsters, something along those lines, just to add to it, you know. Or maybe it's best out of 3, so you win the first. Okay, 3, so now you have the points. So you need 2 victories, something, you know, just to prolong a little bit, because it can go real quick and all of a sudden it's over. Like I played a game with a guy who played the first time, and then all of a sudden he grabbed the Hydra, or what it's called, the 2-headed one, and it says like, and he was like, wait, this monster counts as 2 monsters, and I have 1. Have I just won? Yeah, you just won. So, and then modifying the win condition is quite necessary, and I will have to say that's always a drag down when you modify it, the game. If you house rule a game and you want, because you want to make it better, not because you just want a different experience, that's a bad thing. But about the gameplay, I really do enjoy the game. Actually, the actions, they're simple to understand and to do, and the artwork is lovely. But just the cards you can play and the abilities that I have, I think it's absolutely lovely, and I actually really enjoy just playing it as a fun little dungeon crawler type thing, monster slayer, I don't know what you want to call it. So the gameplay is lovely. It's very simple, and the winning conditions are a little bit meh, but the simple and lovely gameplay of it is nice. Let's talk about the components now, because in the overview I didn't use anything except the things in the box. Now the dice tower is, well, I might have used that in the setup. The dice tower is nice to have. I like to have a dice tower. It's wooden, maybe not the best quality of it. It's a little bit wobbly, but it is still very nice to have and to use and put it on, you know, a playmat or something to listen to the sound. A bag of dice. I'll just, you know, you saw the dice tower in there. I'll just show you here. They're supposed to have a color scheme matching, you know, one of these ones here. You know, you see yellow, more like, oh, that's the mixed one, so that's orange, you know, so that's supposed to mix that one in the colors. I just think they look lovely. D6s is something that I use a lot. I don't use many other types of dice except D6s, and so it's lovely to have a little collection, and they look very nice. They have little glitter effects. I don't know how well you can see the glitter effects on it. Maybe I should pass it up close to the camera just to show. Hopefully it's not too dark. You can kind of see the effect that's in it. It's very lovely. But it's just, you know, it's more dice. I can't really complain about that. Then you have the playmats. I'm not going to use them in the setup. I have obviously recorded this before the setup. But to me, playmats are essential. If you can get playmats, you get them. And again, let me show you them real quick here. So, what they do in this game is, of course, there we go. Thank you. Why the hell are you stuck? Anyways, is of course make it easy. So you have here the central playmat, which holds the face down stack of monster cards, and then 3 areas for face up, and then you have a draw pile and discard pile just to organize. And then all the other ones look like this with the characters on them. You have in the bottom row you have room for 3 monsters and your character card, and in the top 5 more heroes to play down, or not heroes. Yeah, it's heroes, something along those lines. Anyways, so they're lovely organizers. They look very lovely, and having the standees. So, and to me, playmats are essential if you can get them. So, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that this box, and the dice tower is all I would essentially say is necessary for the gameplay. Dice, you know, these I would not go without. Dice, I could live without. The standees, they're nice to have and kind of symbolize what you are by having them up front and you know, showing them out, you know, saying, bam, I'm this one. And they are very lovely. This one is actually started splitting a little bit on the back side here, and I'm kind of wondering what I've done incorrectly for that to happen. But I just turn it around like this because I don't want to deal with it. That's very nice as well to, you know, have that. They're nice to have. They're interesting to have. Not at all necessary. Like the dice you can change around, but those do absolutely nothing except just be there. Then you have the meeples. So the meeples, again, I'm just gonna grab 2 here to show you up close, are kind of in the shape and in the color of the hero that they represent. So this is the druid and the berserker, I believe, in orange here. And there's one for all of them in the colors and the shape, and they do absolutely nothing. I have a whole bunch of meeples here that I don't use for anything. They literally just sit in this bag. And yet, when an expansion comes out, the druid and the berserker was an expansion. As soon as the expansion comes out, I'm out buying the meeples and the dice and the standee and the playmats. Don't do that. These components, they're very lovely. They're very lovely meeples, actually, cut out and durable. You know, except for the fact that one of them broke on transit. So don't talk about that. But they're absolutely lovely, and I love them. I love that I have them. Completely useless. There is no use for them whatsoever. They do not serve a purpose in the game at all. Neither do the standees. They're just so awesome to have. I just want to have them, you know. There's absolutely no other reason than the fact that I want to, that I have them. And it's stupid, it's a waste of money. But I love them. But component-wise, if you're just looking at the base game, the cards and the dice. The dice are lovely, that cute little dice with the unicorn horn. Nice dice, they roll perfectly fine. And the cards are good, really high quality. I think this is an upgrade. This is an upgrade. This is an upgrade on what's it called, on the unicorns, and their cards very lovely dice. And the card sleeves that I have are actually pretty nice. Those are the first sleeves that I have, and I do have some more on the way and stuff. Not all games are going to get sleeves. This one did because the sleeves were nice. They were in the pledge. Didn't cost that much extra, and it's just nice to have. But they're not necessary. If you're talking about the playmats here, I love them. These are really good playmats. Honestly, everyone makes some really good playmats. They really do. So they're really good, and for me, they're absolutely necessary. The dice tower is a little bit wobbly and wobbly. And if I get a hold of a plastic one sometime, maybe I'll use that more instead. Or I'll still keep this one because it's just nice to have in the collection, you know. Oh, hey, it's a little bit. What the hell has happened to that? Oh well, anyways, that's probably cats or something. But components are absolutely brilliant. They're really high quality and really good. Just most of them are completely unnecessary. This is expansion cards. That's why they're here. I don't want to talk down on those. That's just, you know, if you want to expand the game, get some extra for the game, they're here. If you don't, you just ignore it. There's not a lot to talk about in the expansions. As supposedly I can rank the expansions. Anyways, does it lie to you? That's where we're at now. 2 to 6 players, 30 to 60 minutes, ages 10 and up. That 2 to 6 players for the main box is true, because there's only 6 characters in the main box. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters. One of them is a special one from the Kickstarter for, you know, Unstable Unicorns, kind of mimicry, but you know, expansion characters. This is not the expansion characters, is it? Or is it this one? Maybe that's. I can't remember which ones are the expansion characters. But there are 4 expansion characters. 2, 3 are at least. I can't quite remember if it's this one or. I actually think I have them in here. Yeah, these 4 expansion characters. And you know what I think? If you want to play 10 players, add these ones in. I think you could do it. You know, with this amount of cards extra here and the amount of cards that are already in the box, you could definitely play 10 players with these 4 editions. So the box kind of lies, also kind of doesn't. You know, the box is geared towards a 2 to 6 player game, but but just because they've added 4 extra characters, making it possible to play 10, doesn't. But it's you know, expansions make it possible. But, and I think that's awesome that they have added some more characters, and of course the fact that I have this special unicorn character here is of course also pretty awesome. That's just a part of the Kickstarter, so you can't get that now. That also has a little bit of problem at the stand. That's annoying. That 2 of them have a little issue. They're pretty high quality and they haven't really taken any damage or anything. Just these 2 of them, they've had a little problem. That's annoying. Anyways, so kind of line. The 10 and up. That's the first game that I probably agree with. I always say 10, 11 up. It's just because of my experience with playing with around that age. And 30 to 60 minutes, ish. It's a short game, as I said. Just sometimes it might just be 20 minutes because someone gets really, really lucky. But yeah, if you play it correctly and not extremely lucky, 30 to 60 minutes is pretty accurate in the amount of time it takes you to build up a team and be ready to fight. So, my final score for this game is going to be 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10. I just need to remember whether I was giving it 7. No, I'm giving it 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10, definitely. I find it a very fun game, really good card game. Just all around good game with great components. The ones that are necessary and the ones that aren't necessary, they're all pretty freaking great. So, I'm keeping this. I'm keeping all of it. Unstable games is kind of another thing like Ticket to Ride. I really want to have all the things for it. And the next couple Wednesdays you will see some more Unstable games reviews, because I've got a few games to review for it. And then I have a plan for when I've reviewed all of them. Yes, exciting! You just wait for that. Anyways, that's another review done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, bye!